It's my pleasure to welcome Michael Adalko and Vanna Hammerschmidt, representing the Mathematics, Engineering, and Science Achievement Program from the great state of California. Welcome to both of you, and you may now begin your presentation.
Thank you, distinguished members of the panel. I'm pleased to represent a 30-year-old program whose greatest strength is its ability to innovate. Throughout its history, MESA's commitment to continuous improvement has led to countless adjustments and even to reinvention of itself when necessary. We continuously emerge stronger and better equipped to assist our nearly 32,000 students to attain degrees in math, engineering, and science. For example, in 1996, we weathered the storm of Proposition 209, which banned the consideration of race in public education. This ban could have devastated our program, which was founded primarily to serve underrepresented students. But before Prop 209 was even passed, we built organization-wide consensus to open our doors to any student from a disadvantaged background. This action resulted not in the targeting of MESA for elimination, but in the targeting of MESA for additional government funding. And this funding has allowed us to significantly deepen our service model while increasing by 64% the number of students that we serve. There are two innovative aspects of our operation in particular that I want to mention now. First, we have a strong partnership with the private sector. Industry executives in particular have helped us shape our management approach, getting us to think in terms of investment and return on investment. A second innovation is that we provide services to students throughout the academic pipeline. We serve students at the elementary and secondary level, the undergraduate level, and at the community colleges. Today, it's possible for an engineering graduate to have been a MESA student since kindergarten. MESA is not only innovative, it's effective. 85% of MESA high school graduates go on to college, compared to 50% of all California high school graduates. Over the last 3 years, 100% of MESA community college students who transferred to four-year institutions entered a math-based major. And of the country's new underrepresented engineers, 1 in every 8 comes from California MESA. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Vanna Hammerschmidt, who is the director of our pre-college program at California State University, Fullerton.
Thank you, Michael. As a MESA director, I am responsible for the delivery of program services to students. I love what I do because it helps students become successful. Our MESA students are prepared for college because of their participation in MESA activities such as study skills training, career and college exploration, Saturday math science workshops, and stimulating math science summer. We know that math is the gatekeeper for college-bound students. MESA students are opening that gate by attending special math workshops facilitated by their math teachers. These workshops are helping students score significantly higher on standardized math tests non-MESA students. Recent feedback from local colleges and universities indicates that MESA students are better prepared for college math and are less likely to need remediation than their non-MESA. Implementation of the MESA model at the school site rests with the MESA advisor, a classroom math or science teacher who develops a strong bond with the MESA students and their parents and is accessible to them on a daily basis. These teachers become addicted to MESA because they know it works. Many of my advisors have been with the program since I started 16 years ago, and several were former MESA students. MESA's success is contagious. 4 years ago, Andy Hernandez, principal at Santa Ana High School and a strong MESA advocate, became the principal of Costa Mesa High School and immediately requested a MESA program. Only 4 students attended the first meeting. But last year, the program and its annual MESA Grand Prix and Technology Day were featured in the local newspaper. There's now a waiting list of students eager to enter the school's 2 MESA periods and utilize their math and science skills to build rockets, race cars, robots, and roller coasters. As one 12th grade student explained it, "My parents want us to be what they couldn't be. That's why I'm in MESA." I would like to share a quote from Adrienne Perez, a former MESA student now at the University of California. "Your help has given me hope for my future at a time when my family was facing a blockade to my continued education at the I guess there are angels on earth looking out for me. I'm glad I found one in Mesa. Despite opposition to women working in the engineering field, I plan to pursue a civil engineering degree and work with what I love, math and science.
Thank you, Vana. I'd like to close with the good news that Mesa is highly replicable. 7 other states, from Washington to Maryland, have Mesa programs based on our California model, and our 8 states have formed a national group, Mesa USA, to enhance our existing work and to help establish Mesa in other states. We have a slogan in Mesa that says simply, Mesa, it works. Almost done.
Thank you both very, very much for those excellent presentations, and we'll now open it up to questions from the panel. Susan, and then Lee.
I'm Susan Schwab. I have a question, 2 questions, 2-part question. One is the cost per student of the MESA program. And then second, a related question, which is the percent of your target population that is, in fact, impacted by the MESA program.
The answer to your first question, our cost at the pre-college level, which is the bulk of our operation, is about $800 per student per year. Can you state your second question? I'm not sure I understood it.
The question I have is, of the number that we had of 28,200 students being impacted by the MESA program at 93 sites, what is that number relative to the population as a whole at those sites? As a percentage,
it represents about students at those sites.
In essence, I'm asking what percent of your target population, of the population of underserved or underrepresented groups in that school range, that high school range, for example, are served by MESA?
3% of the state.
Again?
How many
3%.
Repeat.
3%.
The MESA students represent 3% of all of the underrepresented students in the state.
Thank you.
Tremendous unmet need.
I'm Elizabeth Shore. Could you tell us a little bit about how you reconcile the flexibility to accommodate local conditions and the replicability of the model? That is, you probably have some principles that you believe are essential to the model, and then you have some flexibility. And the second part of the question is, when you are going to measure MESA's success using a social science methodology, is that going to interfere with the flexibility with which you allow the replication to occur?
To answer to the first part of your question, I think the things that are standard is really the approach that we use. There's got to be a series of partnerships that are in place. You have a central program that sort of serves as the core, and then they've got to have good relations and a partnership with the K-12 folks. They've got to have good partnerships with the higher education folks, and they must have the aspect of industry involvement, which is a huge part of our model. Those are some things that are consistent. In addition, we've got a series of components that represent what's offered in the ideal MESA model. However, at the local level, all the resources may not be in place to offer all of those components, so there's flexibility there. With respect to the research, I don't see how that will constrain us in any way. I think what it's going to do is really inform us about what's of most value and what's of least value in the array of things that we offer.
Any other questions? Yes, Antonio.
My name is Antonia Hernandez, and I was interested and somewhat familiar with the partnership of the private sector. But can you give us a couple of examples of how you involve the private sector in the program?
Absolutely. Each of our sites, of which there are almost 100, So Vana has almost 100 counterparts out there across California. We expect them to establish a local industry advisory board, just as the statewide office has a statewide industry advisory board as well. And the role that they play is really multiple. Certainly they provide funding, they provide resources to help operate the program, but I think even more importantly, they serve as people who are going to be involved, giving of their time. There's a lot of people from companies in California who spend many hours every year supporting students as mentors, hosting students at their industry sites, trying to turn them on to the magic of science and engineering. And they're very, very key to guiding not just our local center, but our state operation as well.
Many of my industry advisory board members are visible in the classroom. They come in to share experiences, to make students in the classroom, and they're also visible on my college campus when I bring high school students on the campus to visit. So we don't just expect them to write a check, but we would like to see them give something of themselves.
Yes, Ed.
In response to, I'm Ed Dorn of the LBJ School. In response to Susan Schwab's question, I believe you said that you're able to serve only about 3% of the kids who are potentially eligible for this program. Can you tell us briefly how that fortunate 3% is selected and what rules there are governing their participation through the several years that they might participate in that program?
Their involvement and how they become involved with the program differs depending on whether they're involved at the kindergarten level, at the intermediate school level, or at the high school level. Many times it's a teacher recommendation, a counselor recommendation, or the students have heard about the program from other students. But we target the mid-range achiever. We are looking for that student who has the possibility to go either way in the academic pipeline, and we know that if we can give him him or her a little extra boost, that we won't have a mid-range achiever, but have a better than mid-range achiever.
Yes, Carl, last question because we're out of time.
You have quite an impressive track record over 30 years, and have you seen a change in your track record since Proposition 209? And I know you're walking a very fine line with it, but how has it affected your program?
We were pretty proactive. We knew what was going to happen, or we thought we knew what was going to happen with Proposition 209. But we began to think in terms of educationally disadvantaged students. We've actually had a great innovation in our program prior to Proposition 209 in preparation for that, and we've grown much larger over the last few years.
I would offer is that in direct response to Prop 209, we sought to deepen the MESA model significantly. And that's when we decided what we had been doing was not enough. Achieving basic eligibility for higher education in California was not enough. With so many students wanting in and so few spaces available at the University of California in particular, we said we've got to have a much deeper impact in the academic realm of the student's experience. And so we established academic excellence workshops, which we'd used for years with much success at the undergraduate level. We established those middle school through high school, specifically in mathematics, and we're seeing a tremendous rise in student performance. So our track record, if anything, is going up. We're serving more students, including underrepresented students.
We're out of time, so we will close by thanking both of you for your excellent presentations and answering our questions so succinctly, and congratulations on being among the finalists.
Thank you very much.